Hello, these are the photos I chose for my project. So first I chose this elephant photo that I got off the internet and the credit is here. And then I chose this forest photo of me and the plan was to put this elephant photo that you see right here so it looks like I'm taking a photo with an elephant. And then I wanted to put some sort of cool filter on this photo to make it look like it's like a comic book or something like that, and then put a grayscale filter on this photo, obviously because I'm wearing the top hat, so it looks like it's in the past. And ultimately, I was planning to take all of these new photos that I created with Python and put them all into one collage. So this forest photo would go in the bottom, and then the top hat and this photo would go in the top. I have a total of 8 functions and 3 of them are helper functions. I wrote the 3 helper functions, differences RGB, resize and paste, in order to reduce complexity in the main functions and make it easier to reuse the same logic whenever needed. I made the grayscale filter and the replace colors functions because they can be used to put filters on photos. So it made sense to make individual functions that can be called whenever needed in order to quickly and easily put a filter on photos. The copy function copies one photo onto another photo, and again I made it a separate function so that I can call it whenever I need to use it. I made the add red border function since I wanted to add a red border to every one of my 3 photos. So I made this function so I can simply call it whenever needed to add borders to my photos. Finally, the collage function was made so I can simply pass photos to a function and quickly put them all into a collage. Overall, I generally made different functions to reduce complexity and separate the logic so they can be called whenever needed. The difference between the paste function and the copy function was that the copy function also resizes photos when needed, but essentially the copy function returns a new photo, so it returns an object, whereas the paste function doesn't return anything. It just modifies the source image in the same way that the paste function of the pill library works. So that's why I made those separate functions. The resize function can either take a path or an image object. If a path is passed, an image at that path is opened, and if an image object is passed, it just uses that object. Once the image is accessible, the function gets the width and height of the image as well as the ratio of height to width. Next, if the variable resize height is set to true, then the new height is set to the product of the new width and ratio of the original height to the original width. On the other hand, if resize height is set false, then the height of the image is set to its original height. Basically, if resize height is true, then the height scales with the width, and if not, the height doesn't scale, so it's important for the aspect ratio of the image. Next, we make a new image with the new width and height and calculate the ratio of change of x and y by dividing width by new width and height by new height. After this, we start looping through the pixels in the range of new width and height, and new width is the variable passed to the function when it's called. At this point, we are basically looping through the new resized image and still need to get the pixel information from the original image. To do that, we need the x and y pixel coordinates on the original image. So we multiply the x and y values of the loop by the x and y ratios and assign these values to px and py. Px and py give us the corresponding pixel coordinates in the original image. So we use getPixel to get the pixel information of the original image at corresponding coordinates and assign that pixel information to the pixel we are currently looping through in the resized image by using the putPixel method. At the end of it, after the loop is done, each pixel on the original image basically has its color transferred to a corresponding pixel on the resized image. Finally, the resized image is returned by the function. Okay, now I will run the code, and we can see these were my source images again. This was the source for the elephant photo. Okay, and the photo is done. This is the final photo.